Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Now today's topic got a ton of chatter on Patreon. If you don't know what Patreon is, there's a link in the description. You can check it out. It's a way to support the channel. But I had a lot of those people on Patreon vote for holiday topics. It also got a lot of chatter on the website. And the topic is, how do we go home for the holidays and not fall back into old habits? I know that this is something that a lot of us struggle with, and the first thing that I want to say is stay tuned till the end. I have an exciting surprise, so you want to make sure that you watch all the way through, but that's not really what my first thing I want to say is. What I want to talk about first with you is defining what we would consider a bad habit or something that we're falling back into. Is that a relapse? For some of us, it may be. If we struggle with addiction, with eating disorders, or self-injury, going home can be extremely triggering, and we may fall back into a relapse. So you can kind of consider this video helpful for you to prevent relapse during the holidays. Also, for many of us, old habits can just be communication styles. Whenever I'm working with my clients, I talk a lot about what I call the family dance, and that can be dysfunctional, like everybody's running into one another. Think of it like a mosh pit, or it can be like we're all doing the polka together. I don't know how to do the polka, but imagine that I'm doing it. And I like to think of family functions as a dance, a family dance. Everybody knows their part, everybody knows their moves, and they all operate within it. And so when we go home, we often hear that music again and we get right back into the dance. I don't know why that analogy just rings true for me, and hopefully you out there watching are like, yeah, that's how it does kind of feel. Like we all of a sudden when we're around our siblings or that one aunt or our mom and dad together, for some reason, we go right back into, us 10 years ago, if that's how long we've been away from home, or we just automatically revert back to 16-year-old us. I know that when I first went away to college, when I would come home, I would try to revert back to like teenage Katie, and I would get frustrated with my mom and my dad, and I'd be like revolting against like the rules and like, you don't own me anymore, I don't live here, I do fine on my own, and we would get in these ridiculous childlike fights. And so what I'm going to talk with you today is just giving you some helpful tips and tricks and ways to hopefully fight that urge to go back into that dance and relapse or fall back into those habits. The first tip, and I'm starting off with this because I usually save it till the end, but I have a lot of other good ones at the end, is self-care. Most of the time when we go home, we get extremely stressed out, we're out of our routine, we're not eating what we normally eat or seeing the people that we normally see or doing our tools and techniques and ways to express what's going on. We're not doing any of that. And when we get stressed and we're not taking care of ourselves, we are so much more susceptible to relapses or falling back into old habits. And so it's really important that we take care of ourselves prior to any trip home, have a plan that we've put in place either with our therapist or when we put together by ourselves for when we're there, and make sure you're doing those things. If that means that you wake up 30 minutes early so no one bothers you while you do your journaling or your meditation or whatever it is that helps you, make sure you're like factoring in that time. If the eating schedule is going to be off, talk with your dietitian about how to better manage that, because things change when we travel. And when we go home, it can be really hard to stick with our same routine that has helped us get to where we are now. My next tip is to stop black and white thinking. Know that we all slip up and it happens, but we have the ability to get back up and keep moving forward. I think it's really important. When I was initially preparing this video, I had a completely separate tip that said, change the way you view a relapse. But that rolls right into the black and white thinking, because if we don't view a relapse or a slip up or sliding back into old ways as all being lost, we can get back up and we can use our tools and we can get back on track. We all fall down, we all trip up. It's not the end of the world. I remember one time I was at a speaking engagement. I don't know if it was in high school or middle school or something like that. But the person that spoke about it, and I may even have said this in another video, but the person that was speaking said, why do we in life, if we fall down, like we're walking along in the street and we trip and fall, we get right back up and we look, sometimes we even look, we're like, I hope nobody saw that. That was embarrassing. That's how I react. But when we fall down emotionally or in life, when we're working on something and we have to take like 2 steps back, we can just lay there like, everything is terrible. All the work I've done means nothing. And that's simply not true. We can get right back up and keep working just like we would if we fell down on a sidewalk in the middle of the street. I always try to think of that when I think of feeling bad about something or slipping up and thinking, man, I really want to do that just right. And why didn't that turn out? Sometimes it's okay to realize, hey, slip-ups are normal, nothing's perfect. It's a process, not perfection, right? And we can get ourselves back up and keep going. So just notice when you're engaging in that all or nothing, black and white thinking, And then try to fight out of it. Try to talk back to it. Try to understand where that slip up came from, how you can better prepare next time so that they don't happen as often and we can get out of them more quickly. My next tip is knowing your triggers. When we go home, we often know exactly what it's gonna be like, for the most part. We know how certain people interact with others, those certain things that maybe that aunt or cousin or mother or whatever says to us. We know those things that we're kind of coming up against. And so recognizing our triggers can help us prepare ahead. Does that mean that we limit the time that we spend? Possibly. Does that mean that we don't go to that one event because that one person that we can't stand is going to be there? Does that mean that we bring a supportive friend? Maybe we pack our car full of all of our tools and our journal and arts and crafts and things that we do that make us feel good. Knowing our triggers ahead of time can help us set ourselves up for success so we don't walk into a family event and feel completely overwhelmed and like we have no supports and then reverting right back to those old behaviors that we were trying to fight against in the first place. And the last tip that I want to offer up is stay motivated. It is hard. I know things are stressful. The holidays can be good and bad for so many reasons. And I know a lot of you struggle with staying motivated during this time of year. Maybe it's dark at 3 p.m. It's possible. Maybe the cold weather and the not wanting to go outside has just got you in a funk. But make sure that wherever you go, if it's on your phone, if it's a poster in your room, this is a segue. You like my segue? Look at this. Have you seen the posters I have on DFTBA? Here's one of them. You should have these with you. You could roll these up. Do you remember these? I actually really like the colors in this one, you guys. I made these. I worked on these. These are my creations. And I think having reminders up to stay motivated when we're struggling is so important. I have clients make lists on their phone. I have them set alarms to go off on their phone to remind them of all the reasons that they're working on their own recovery. Whether it's recovery from an eating disorder, alcoholism, or just getting out of an emotionally abusive household, whatever it is we're recovering from, I honestly believe we're all recovering from something. Make sure that you have a list to remind you of why you're doing it in the first place. And even a list of things that maybe you've already accomplished and things you're proud of, because it's really important to remember those things when we're having a shit time. Those are the things that keep us motivated. Maybe that's setting aside time to talk to a friend to help them keep you motivated when you're away. Whatever it is, if it's a poster, if it's a list, make sure that you do it and make sure you bring it with you, because in those times when we're feeling shitty, maybe we've slipped up and we're beating ourselves up and we're in that negative self-talk cycle, reading those things and staying motivated with that can keep you going and keep you working on your recovery, because you are important and you deserve to feel better. And we will get through this holiday season together, one step at a time, towards a healthy mind and a healthy body. I'll see you next time. Bye!